Guys, I'm Priyanshi and I'm a CA final student. Today I'm interviewing Utkarsh. He's a fitness enthusiast and he learned Japanese and also taught Japanese. So before I start Utkarsh's interview, I would like to add that towards the end of the video, I'll add a small clip of Utkarsh's fitness routine. So Utkarsh, my first question to you would be, how and when did you discover your passion for Japanese?
I started more than 3 years ago. This was in 9th grade. I was interested in anime and video games, mainly Japanese video games, and I felt that I could better enjoy them if I actually experienced the original form of it, because translated versions lead to a loss of expressions and the essence of the language itself. So that's how I started learning Japanese, to enjoy these. But later on I realized that I actually even enjoy learning the language itself because of how it was made and structured, the characters, and it helps you learn many more concepts. It's not just about the language. You learn things around you when you start taking up a language. There's the culture and the food, you could say, and history, etc. So there's a lot to learn with the language, and it's a very fun way to learn it because you don't really spend your time looking through books of plain text, but instead while you're learning the language, it all flows into your head and you can relate to things, you can connect things better. So that's why I started, that's how I started enjoying the language itself too. Originally I was just studying by myself, but later on in 12th grade I realized that that would be pretty hard because I had to keep up with course material too. So what I did instead was I started taking Japanese classes, and quite surprisingly the classes got me to learn a lot more in Japanese than I would have thought of. Because when you start explaining things, they become more clear in your own head, and your base becomes more solid, and with that the questions that other people ask may not have occurred to you. So in this process of teaching you learn too, and a lot more than you think actually, and they're also a fun way of interacting with a lot of people and getting more ideas, more perspectives on things. So taking classes is an experience in itself, and it developed not only my language skills but probably my confidence too. I also wanted to bring in the Japanese exams. So taking these exams is definitely not necessary. You can be an expert at any language without being assessed for it. But you should know that if you give an exam, you build a certain level of confidence and you get this satisfaction that you have reached some level of achievement. It's more, you get more confident in your own skills when you see that you have performed well. And it is difficult to some extent, but if you prepare for the exam well, there's nothing that can stop you from acing it. So I had skipped the first level of the exam. It was I had directly gone for the second level and the third level, but since they mentioned backwards from 5 to 1, it was called the fourth and the third level. So both these exams, there were things that I did not know, of course, and after going through the exam you look upon these things and you understand where you were lacking. So the exam is not about just giving it and seeing your results. It's also about knowing where you might be lacking, and you can develop on that.
So Utkarsh, I totally agree with you. When you start learning a new language which belongs to a different region, it really helps you learn about their culture. A little fun fact is that I was actually one of Utkarsh's student, and it was great learning Japanese from him. We always had interactive sessions and, discovered more things about the language together. And I really do agree that, when you start teaching, it helps you increase your confidence about the subject that you're teaching. So in his case, it was Japanese. So Utkarsh, my next question to you would be, how and when did you discover your passion for fitness?
You could say almost everything that was going around me led me to get into fitness. A few years ago, 3 to 4 years ago, I realized that I had started becoming more lazy and I'd put on some weight too, and it felt uncomfortable, being sleepy all the time and being tired and not being able to, act the way you used to be, as active, as energetic. And with this, my almost my whole family, my mom and my sister, are huge fitness enthusiasts. So they they had a daily schedule of various exercises, and they always stayed active. So I couldn't just sit and watch everyone gets so far ahead of me, and I wanted to get myself back to how I was, or probably better. And when you start fitness, of course, your results don't come out on the first day. It takes a long while. But as you develop the habit, you realize that all that fatigue, tiredness, sweat, breathlessness that feels very uncomfortable to you in the first few weeks perhaps gets makes you feel much more satisfied after that, because you realize that you're getting better every day. You're doing something to keep yourself in check every day. It's a discipline that helps you maintain routine also, and it does not only just keep you physically active and energetic, but mentally too. It's a way of cleaning your mind of all the distractions that you might have had. As soon as you get into rigorous exercise, it's a blank slate, and it's ready for your next session of thinking, studying, whatever else you're going to do. So it is important to it's definitely important to stay fit. As soon as I got better, and I'm still getting better, I realized that it made my life much more positive than it could have been, and it also helps you keep your self-esteem at a higher position, because you know that you're doing something every day, you're accomplishing something, you're getting better, you're improving, and you're not giving up, right? So it also develops a certain willpower. Originally, when I started fitness though, honestly, I was not aiming for, a fit person. As a guy, I just wanted to become more strong and, win arm wrestling matches in school. But eventually I realized that there is much more than just pushing down the other guy's arm on the table. It's when you start developing a more when you start getting into exercises, it gives you stamina, speed, energy, a more clear mindset, and it makes you more healthy.
I think that's great, Utkarsh. I really think that doing a little workout really helps you with all the other activities of your day, and it's true that it does make you feel more energetic. So my final question would be, how did you balance it all, with your 12th board, especially because there's a huge myth that when you are in 12th, you should only study and not do anything else.
One thing which many people say is that your hobbies are distractions in 11th and 12th. I do not agree to this. So I would say that these hobbies actually help you out in 11th and 12th. Do not give up on them, because if you don't do what you like, you won't be able to do what you don't like. I mean, if you like studying, go ahead. And one more thing is, even if you like studying, you cannot do it 24/7. Okay, you should only study when you feel like, but when you sit to study, study all out. Full focus on studying, no distractions. there were in 11th grade I sat with my books for a lot of hours every day, but I was half asleep most of the time, or not on my phone maybe for the rest of it, because I didn't really want to study, and nor did I have any motivation to do so. But later I switched to lesser study time, and in the rest of my time I made sure to do whatever I liked, but keep it in its own time slot. So if I'm studying for just 1 hour a day also, I would only study for that 1 hour, and no matter what happens, do not change that, right? So keeping your schedule in place also gives you some confidence, because you're doing what you have to, and you're doing what you want to with that. One important thing is that do not lose your drive while studying. So for some people, it may be their ambitions. They want to get into college related to academics, right? So here, even if it is your ambition, you cannot have no one is ambitious 24/7, right? People still want to lay their mind off sometimes. So yeah, when you feel like your drive is low, do not go study. Neither will it help you, because nothing goes in your head, and nor will you feel satisfied. And at the same time, your whole day is wasted, because you just sat with a book in front of you for the whole day and did nothing, right? It could, for some people, it's guilt. So for me, I think sometimes it was guilt, because I felt like, oh, I didn't study at all yet.
Thank you so much for doing this, Utkarsh. I really enjoyed the interview. So guys, here's the video I mentioned in the beginning.